All right, so if you're a B2B software company who wants to add $15,000 to $30,000 in monthly recurring revenue in the next 90 days, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that using LinkedIn inbound funnels. You're not going to have to spam any outreach. You're not going to have to run any paid ads. It's completely organic. I'm going to break down the exact process in this video. Now, if you're not a software company, it's still going to be relevant to you as long as you're selling B2B. So let's get straight into it. So first of all, case study number one of using a LinkedIn inbound funnel is Prosper AI, a LinkedIn outreach tool, which went from $0 to $48,000 a month in 5 months, only using LinkedIn. As you can see here, we have a striped screenshot showing 42k euros, which at the time of recording is about 48k USD. And figure two here is actually going to show you our second month working together. We booked them 672 demo calls, 537 which showed up. And that was only in the span of 30 days, our literal second month working together. Now for case study number two, you'll see Phantom Writer, which is more of a content tool, which hit $11,000 in MRR in less than 60 days of launch. Again, fully through LinkedIn. As you can see here, 8.7k pounds, about 11.5k USD. And I kind of just wanted to show you guys that with the system, you don't just get revenue, you also grow your personal brand. As you can see here, one of the co-founders got 400,000 views in 28 days. And beyond this, now we've had posts where working with these guys, even one post gets 400,000 impressions. And you can just imagine what that does for your brand awareness and for your recognition. Now, case study number three is William Brown, and he actually used LinkedIn to cash collect over 466k in 1 month. As you can see here, the month we started working with him, he had a jump from 400k to 460k. Now it's been even further down the line, it's probably been like 10 months working together, and his peak month has now been 580k. And the way that LinkedIn works is we funnel all of this traffic down to his YouTube and down to more trust building platforms, which then leads them to be much warmer. And then he obviously books calls with them, and he's closing these like 10, 20k deals paid in full from these calls. And then figure two, another screenshot to show you how consistent we are with the impressions. He saw an 100% increase with 350,000 impressions. I think now at this point, our best month with him has been over 1 million impressions. Now, the final case study is Eugenio Zabel. He actually booked 12 meetings in only 1 day and had the most viral LinkedIn lead magnet on the whole platform. As you can see here, 12,000 comments. I'm pretty sure it has like over 2 million impressions now. But this is just absolutely absurd. I mean, the numbers do all the talking. Now, that's it for the case studies. I kind of just wanted to get into who is this for. So on a macro level, obviously, this is for founders, CEOs, executives at B2B software companies. But this is actually specifically relevant to you if you've poured time into content, outreach, and even paid ads, but nothing drives consistent customers. You've tested all these different channels, you get customers here and there, but nothing's consistent and nothing really feels like it's clicking. Another thing that might make this relevant to you is if your MRR is simply stuck. If you've hit 5, 10, or even 30k a month. I've even had people come to me at 100k a month, but they've plateaued and they're kind of just hoping that referrals or word of mouth, or they're just magically going to break the ceiling. And unfortunately, that's just not true. The third reason this might be relevant to you is if your LinkedIn just feels like a dead zone. I've seen people who they post occasionally, they post or even often, but it barely gets seen. And the times that they do go viral or the few likes and comments that they do get never ever translate into any meaningful leads or revenue. The next point would be if you're just done wasting money, right? If you've spent money on marketers and agencies who talk big, but they deliver fluff, engagement without conversions, reports without revenue. The final reason this might be relevant to you is if you just know that your product is genuinely valuable. So like people are loving it when they try it, you're solving a really big problem for your market, but you're basically just frustrated that the market is not seeing it enough and they're not seeing it fast enough. So if any of those points hit close to home, then you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video. And the reality is we are now living in an attention economy where trust is the biggest determinant when it comes to buying decisions. And the days of scaling B2B SaaS with paid ads, cold outbound, and a pretty landing page that you pay some designer 10K for, they are fading very, very fast. Actually, since Q1 of 2022, B2B customer acquisition costs have risen by over 60%, while email reply rates are like 0.1%, if not below that. It's literally an all-time low. And buyers nowadays are demanding more trust than ever earlier in the funnel. But I have good news. These software companies winning in 2025 will not be the ones spending the most. It's actually going to be the ones earning attention, building an audience, and creating pull. They're going to be led by these founders who show up, educate their market, and become the reason that people buy. And we're actually the only team that's focused on exclusively helping B2B SaaS founders build LinkedIn inbound funnels using an authoritative personal brand. Now, I know I've made all these claims and you're probably wondering, like, who is this guy? So I wanted to get a little bit into my background. So actually back in 2023, I started helping service-based businesses like other agencies, some software companies, but mainly agencies with their marketing and appointment setting. But pretty quickly, I realized something that nobody was talking about. All of the traditional channels, literally all of them, like cold email, paid ads, SEO, they were all becoming less and less effective. If you guys have tried them, you have seen this, but all of these traditional methods are just not working as well as they used to. In 2015, we could send 1,000 emails, get 100 replies. In 2015, we could send 1,000 LinkedIn connection requests in one day, get 100 replies. Like, everything was so much easier back then. And unfortunately, now we just have to adapt. And when I was trying to figure out what was working, I noticed that founders with a brand seem to be ahead of everyone else. They seem to have some sort of edge over all of their competition. I'm sure even whilst I'm saying this, like, there's some people which come to your minds where you've seen them on your feeds and it just seems like everything they do is just working. And specifically on the LinkedIn platform, most users consist of high-level CEOs, founders, executives, and investors, which just makes it perfect for any B2B business. People with a LinkedIn audience, they could literally make posts whenever they want. They could get pushed by the algorithm and drive thousands of their ideal customers to their product and generate absurd amounts of revenue. And as I was looking into this, I decided to try and buy mentors. I paid tens of thousands of dollars for courses. I paid people to do one-time calls with me. I paid people to audit my content. I even hired some agencies as well. I literally tested like crazy, but everything I found was either overly complicated or literally just plain useless. It genuinely felt like nobody had cracked the code for solving this. So after months of trial and error, actually years at this point, I developed a framework to help B2B SaaS companies not just grow an audience, but turn it into a predictable, scalable growth engine. So fast forward to today, and we've worked with many software companies across any kind of B2B industry you can imagine, helping them bring in literally millions in revenue, acquire funding, and even get their dream acquisition offers. Which is exactly why in 2024, we launched Starboard. It's built specifically for B2B SaaS companies to break through plateaus and scale to the moon without burning their runway. So we're a team of operators who've been in the trenches for a combined over 10 years, and we've worked with the likes of Elan Asso, James Taylor, Samuel Beck, William Brown, Eugene Isabel, Benjamin Reed, so many more I could list out, but I'm not going to bore you. I'm also a LinkedIn coach for some of the most well-respected mentorship programs in the space. For example, we're also working with Brez Scales and Levi Erola to help their students take advantage of LinkedIn. Now, let me actually get into the process and how you can achieve these types of results. So step one is going to be creating the content strategy. So a content strategy is the foundation of an inbound funnel. Without it, you're just spraying and praying, you're just posting and hoping. You kind of don't really have any direction, don't have any plan. Now, there's three main goals with content, right? And it's to make your ideal customer, number one, trust your expertise. Number two, understand their problems more clearly. And number three, see your solution as the natural next step. A well-balanced content strategy should include 4 different buckets. Bucket number one is authority content. This is where we're just positioning ourselves as an expert. We're sharing proven frameworks, client results, and kind of these opinions on the market, on trending topics, things that are going on right now. Now, educational content is much more focused on simply taking this value-giving approach. We want to teach our audience as much as possible. We want to help them identify and understand the problems they're facing, and even the ones they might not be fully aware of yet. And I'm going to get into that a little later. It's very important. Bucket number 3 is going to be personal content. We don't want to do too much of this because then you will ruin your authority. However, doing some of it is really going to help build this personal connection with your audience on a deeper level. So talking about your journey, your values, and your lessons learned along the way. The final one, which is the smallest bucket, but also the highest converting bucket, is social proof, or just conversion selling-based content. This is where we're simply posting testimonials, screenshots, and outcomes, and literally posts where we're just offering our services with some sort of call to action, aiming to simply drive leads. There's actually 4 different awareness stages that we position our content based on, and that's problem unaware, which means These are people which do not even know they have the pain point you're solving. So for example, in my case, it would be someone who does not know that they're struggling with lead flow. Or maybe they are simply not struggling with lead flow, but I need to convince them that they need to get more leads. The next one would be problem aware. Now, problem aware people, they know that they need to get more leads. They are aware of the pain point, but they're simply not actively looking for solutions. They're kind of in this limbo state. They're not really looking to take any action. They're not really too serious about it. Solution aware, however, is where these people are aware of the pain point and they are actively searching for solutions. They're not necessarily aware of your solution right now, but they're actively looking for a solution to their problem. And product aware is where they are not only actively looking for solutions, but they are actually evaluating the worth of your solution to their pain point. Step 2 is going to be optimizing the funnel. So your LinkedIn profile is not a resume. That's the biggest mistake I see. It's actually a 24/7 salesman. It's basically your landing page on the LinkedIn platform. This is where everyone that sees your content is going to go to try and understand what you do. And once your content builds attention, your profile should capture it and convert interest into action. Here's exactly how to structure it. So instead of saying something like founder at this company, motivational speaker, girl dad, you want to reduce all of that, cut it down, dumb it down, and basically turn it into only focused on pain points, dream outcomes for your ICP. So a good example in my case would be helping B2B SaaS founders add $15,000 to $30,000 in MRR in 90 days through inbound LinkedIn content. You'll notice there's a few key components here which you can kind of mix and match. Number 1 is the ICP. Number 2 is the ideal outcome or the desired outcome. The time frame is the third one, and then the fourth thing is the unique mechanism. I would say that you want to do whatever you can to get those 4 components in your headline. It's going to make it a whole lot more compelling. Now, the about section, it's kind of like a sales page. So what you see here, this is a kind of a set sales letter. It would be like a very small version of this. It's where we focus on saying, hey, are you facing one of these problems? If yes, continue reading. Here's how I can help you solve it, and kind of just getting into the basics of your service, the dream outcome, time frame, case studies, this stuff. And then you end it with a clear CTA telling them to DM you to learn more. Right? This is just a mini sales page. If people scroll down your profile, they already understand what you do. They want a bit more context. They want to see if it's right for them. The experience section is definitely the most useless one. However, if you have been trained or if you worked at some notable company, then obviously leverage that. So mention, hey, I was trained by Alex Hormozy on how to write sales letters. For example, right? If you have someone like that, then make sure to turn it into specific skills that you learned that are related to what you're saying now. The final thing, which is kind of scattered across the profile, is the different call to actions. So at the top of our profile, we want to have the highest friction, highest commitment call to actions. And if they don't respond to those, we want to have lower friction, lower commitment call to actions, lower down the profile, right? So at the top of my profile, I might just say to book a call. Lower down the profile, it might be subscribe to my newsletter. It might be watch my free video on how to do this, right? Things that build more trust. Every section on your profile should basically just work together to answer the question, is this person worth talking to? Now, step 3 of a LinkedIn inbound funnel is building a DM conversion system. Getting views, likes, or comments is great, but if your DMs do not lead to conversations, if they don't even book calls, it doesn't matter. So an effective DM process should feel like a really natural conversation. You shouldn't be selling too much. It shouldn't be a cold pitch, but also I don't want to waste time. So I'm going to give you a simple message flow that you can use. So the first thing you want to do is have a value first opener. If they haven't requested a lead magnet, still send them some sort of helpful resource or give them some sort of value based on their profile, maybe based on their website, or just a generic resource, which is like, oh, the LinkedIn blueprint, where it's a Notion document, or maybe, for example, with my prospects, I would give them this document, right? Anything where you're just building trust, you're kind of just saying, hey, here you go. You're not expecting anything in return. You're just trying to build some trust and get on their good side, essentially. The next thing would be a permission-based follow-up. Ask them some sort of question about if they're open to being pitched, or even a poke the bear question. So a poke the bear question is where you essentially get them to self-identify their own pain points. A way that I would ask this is I would say, how are you thinking about generating leads with LinkedIn? So you can notice that I'm not saying, hey, are you interested in generating leads with LinkedIn? I'm saying, how are you thinking about it? If they're not thinking about it, then that means that they might think in their head, wait, this could be a good opportunity. Now I'm curious. Now I want to know more. If I ask them, hey, how are you guys doing with your LinkedIn lead generation? your profile must be printing right now. I'm basically making an assumption that they must be doing super well. And in the case that they're not doing super well, it's going to evoke some emotions in their brain, and they're going to be like, hold on, I need to fix this. I have a pain point. And then it makes for the perfect time for you to pitch. The next thing you want to do is you want to just ask them some discovery questions. A few simple questions that you need to know just to qualify them, maybe just to kind of scout out what they're doing, maybe their MRR and stuff like that. The fourth thing is just going to be pitching with context. So pitch them, mention things they've said in the conversation, mention specific goals you can help them with, and then suggest to hop on a call. Don't seem too desperate. Don't say I'd love to hop on a call. Say I'd be willing to give you 20 minutes of my time. I'd be willing to hop on a call with you later this week. And then the next thing is follow up. So just send a few reminders if they don't reply. Be polite, keep it human. Don't just say like, I'm bumping this up. Don't just give a question mark. Try and give some value. If you make a new resource, send it to them. Anything like that is going to do so much more for you. Now this system ends up creating conversations, not sales pressure, and conversations is what leads to booked calls. Step 4 is going to be launching the LinkedIn inbound funnel. And once your content, profile, and DM flows are ready, it's basically just time to bring everything together. Number one thing you want to do is a content engine. So you want to have a system where you're posting consistently. I would say every day minimum. Obviously, if you're a busy CEO and you can't, 5 times a week, okay? But every day for the maximum growth, and make sure you're repurposing your older content, make sure you're measuring performance. Now, this is the most optional thing you can do, which is the engagement system, because typically I prefer to just spend this time writing better content. But obviously some people just want to boost whatever chances they have of going viral. And in this case, you'd spend 15 to 30 minutes daily just engaging with your target audience, just commenting on some posts you see on your homepage. The third one, and arguably one of the most important parts of your system, is using a simple dashboard to track all of your metrics. You need to figure out what content to double down on, what content is not performing at all, and what format is working for you and your audience specifically. It's going to be different for everyone. So it's something where you really can only tell when you have these numbers in place. Now, over time, like I said, these metrics will eventually lead you to finding a winning format, a winning strategy, and a winning type of post that's just consistently going to perform for you. Remember that a funnel, however, is not about doing everything at once. It's about running a simple system, improving it weekly, and making your presence do the selling for you. Step 5, the final step, is going to be refine the sales process. A lot of people I know, they think that when you book a call, the work is done. But I know so many founders that they just lose deals because either the lead goes cold, the call lacks structure, or there's just no solid follow-up. I'm going to tell you exactly how to fix that with a simple 3-part system. Part number 1 is a pre-call nurture. We're going to send a few emails or DMs with relevant content or case studies. I actually like to send people to my YouTube videos, to some videos where I do a breakdown, but it's also a case study of my client results. I would also maybe send them this video and make sure, hey, have you watched this video? If you didn't watch this video on the website, here it is. Watch it before the call. It's super important. What this is going to do is it's going to set expectations, it's going to build even more trust with them, and it's going to overall increase your conversions massively. When somebody hops on a call with me and they say, hey, Paolo, I actually watched that video you sent me, it was really good, I already know they're going to pay me. I already know they're going to pay in full. I already know that deal is done. That's just how it works. That's just how important it is to build trust with them. My whole mindset with what I'm doing before the call is to try and build so much trust that they're literally closed and they've literally made a decision before they've even hopped on the call and ever spoken to me. Part number 2 is the call preparation, okay? Now, you might just have this on your Calendly, but this is using a short intake form to understand their needs in advance. So you just want to review their company, their website, maybe their MRR, any other information you might need that might help you prepare for the call. Part 3 is the post-call follow-up. Now, if you did not close them on the call, you want to make sure to book them into another one. You want to make sure to send them a resource related to their biggest challenge, maybe a custom strategy, maybe a custom proposal. This overall system is going to make your calls so much smoother, your follow-ups more effective, and your close rate is genuinely going to be so much higher. Now, to summarize, as you can see with a LinkedIn funnel, as long as you, number 1, create a strategy that builds trust and demand. 2, optimize your profile so it's clear, relevant, and action focused. 3, use a structured DM system to turn conversations into calls. 4, launch a working funnel that runs week to week without guesswork. And 5, refine your sales process so leads stay warm and convert smoothly. You will 100% be able to add $15,000 to $30,000 in monthly recurring revenue in only 90 days. Now, from here, there's actually a couple ways you can go about achieving this. So number one, you can try and do this all in-house, but to be honest with you, you'll need to spend at least 10 to 20 hours a week researching, planning, writing, and posting consistently. You're going to have to guess at what content works without any proven frameworks, without any data, and it's going to take you 3 to 6 months to test different strategies before you even see any ROI. Not to mention that if you are a busy founder or executive, it's not going to be easy to stay consistent. If you've tried posting on LinkedIn consistently, but you failed, you know how this feels. And in that case, if you try and hire someone to offload the work, then you're going to just end up spending even more time managing them without any clear direction, without any clear outcome, as well as just wasting even more additional money. Now, option 2, you can work with me and my team at Starboard to implement the LinkedIn inbound funnel 100% done for you and start adding thousands of dollars in MRR within a few weeks. We have a proven system that we've tested across so many industries. We know what works. The average client working with us will see results within the first 1 to 2 weeks. I don't know many other B2B services which can say the same. And that's why, honestly, I'm really proud of what we've done. And I kind of just wanted to get into a bit more about the deliverables that come with working with us. So deliverable number 1 is profile optimization. We're literally going to turn your LinkedIn into a high converting landing page that generates leads 24/7. We're also going to write 30 posts per month for you that build trust, generate engagement, and drive qualified traffic to your offer every week. We're also going to create 4 lead magnet resources in Notion, Google Docs, or Miro to give away to your followers in posts and build insane amounts of trust with your audience. The next deliverable is going to be carousels and graphic design. Now, the volume of this is going to depend on how well your market responds. Some markets love carousels, some hate them. We're going to test it out. We're going to see what works, but we can do about 1 to 2 carousels a week. Just going to visually differentiate your brand and increase engagement overall. The next thing we can do is we can also set up the DM automation for you. So this is going to start conversations with all of your ideal clients and all of your audience and start generating warm leads for you on autopilot. The second last thing we have is a content calendar. This is basically, we have a whole Notion OS where we manage the whole system very simply, makes it very organized, very easy to understand, and we have a whole strategy behind our posting. Now, the final deliverable is direct and 24/7 access to me and my team. If you ever have any questions at all about LinkedIn, Twitter, closing, conversion, DMs, literally anything, message me. I'll reply within a few hours. You can literally just ask me anything. We can hop on a call about it. I'm really open about this, and I want my clients to win. If you guys win, I win too. And I really want to make sure that you guys are getting the best results possible. So we're happy to help you wherever we can. Now, there's only one next step, and that is to go ahead and book your discovery call with me. If you're on the website, it's going to be the button down below. And if you're on YouTube or on a post, it's going to be in the description. We're literally just going to go over your current situation, see if we're a good fit, and I'll literally outline what the system would look like working with us. I'll even give you some value about how we would do it for you. Obviously, we do back everything up with a guarantee. So if we do not deliver on the promised results, you will get a full refund. And because of our hands-on approach, we only onboard 3 new companies per month. And we're literally a small team. We have limited capacity. We want to make sure we can handle all the work we get. If you are interested in hearing more, schedule the call as soon as possible. Even if you're unsure, just schedule a call. I'm going to speak to you. We're going to figure stuff out and we're going to see if this could even work for you. And if you have any other questions, just shoot me a DM on LinkedIn or Twitter and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.